What's up, Team Tobias? What's up, Somerville, Florida? Lane Haymont here with the quelling your query conundrums with the one and only Ann Rose. And don't mind my glasses being all wobbly and, slanted. If I had a blazer with patches, I could pass as a professor, but
Oh my gosh. I think everyone should wear sweaters with patches on the elbows.
ooh, is that a style you love, Ann
I
Rose?
do. I really like it. I don't even have a sweater with patches on the elbows, but I would love a sweater with patches on, like a cardi with patches on the elbows and pockets in the front. Like, yes. If anyone knows where I could find that sweater, drop me a link in the chat below, please, because I would like one. Thank you.
Okay, okay. How do you feel about corduroy?
Corduroy?
Yes.
I mean, it's fine. I don't own any.
Okay. What about sweater vests?
So I have a friend who wears vests all the time, and so anytime I see one, I will text her, be like, "I found a vest for you," and she's like, "Oh my god, stop it."
What about sweater vests for men?
Oh, I think if they're done right, they can look nice, but
No. No.
otherwise, I mean, you can't just wear the vest and nothing underneath it. Like that would just be awkward.
Yeah, yeah. I would assume that would be not what people do. I don't think people do that.
People are weird, Lane.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess people came to listen to quelling your query conundrums. I can't speak.
They didn't come to
So
talk to us about fashion advice because we
no.
obviously are
Yes.
amazing at that. Like, I don't know about
Says
you, but I have sweatpants on right now.
I have pajama pants on and my glasses are misplaced. They're all slanted.
They're
So
broken.
yes, I have to get them adjusted and I have to go to the eye doctor, and we were just talking about how bad my vision is and how
Yes.
bad Anne's is and how big her
Wow.
glasses are
How
compared to her
giant my glasses are.
eyes are to her face. Um,
All right. Well, yes, we have a query that was sent to us that we can discuss today if we're ready to talk about it and not about glasses or fashion or sweaters with patches on the elbows. One, it starts off great. So it's like one of my favorite openings, and you'll see why. It says, "Dear Secret Agent Anne." Okay, love it. Love it. I'm in.
yeah,
Sold. I'm in.
that's pretty cool.
Okay, I'm so excited to send you my query because you enjoy female rage, monstrous girls, and stories that burn the patriarchy to the ground. Okay, this person knows me, obviously, on a very deep and personal level. I also noticed that you're looking for stories inspired by El Dia de los Muertes, and my book has a similar tone. Okay, I'm in. I'm already in. Title is 67,000 words, is a middle grade contemporary fantasy. It will appeal to fans of The Whimsical Monsters in Impossible Creatures by Catherine Rudel and The Rebellious Girls and When Women Were Dragons. Adult title, so very interesting comping to that for a middle grade, by Kelly Barnhill. All right, here we go. The heart has its own claws and teeth, just like any beast, and a hunger difficult to stat. How do you say that word?
Satiate?
Thank you. That's the
You're
word.
welcome.
Humans are terrified of the vicious monsters that came out of hell, but 13-year-old Blue Dusil only fears one thing: loneliness. Most people single her out because Blue is a half monster. She was born to be hunted and live a lonely life. But Blue dreams of finding her villainous family, the fierce and most feared Dussel. Rumor has it that the Dussels were killed by an unknown, killed by one, okay, killed by one known only as the Hunter. The Blue believes there's more to the story. She decides to make a deal with the most demonic woman in town, Death, sovereign of lost souls, who gives Blue a difficult task. Bring me the hunter's heart, or I'll take your human soul. Blue is scared, but the choice is clear that it get the hunter's heart or lose her soul and become a monster forever. Blue and her friends will encounter a sinister, sunken mansion, souls enslaved in metal clockworks, and an underground circus, all while getting closer not just to the hunter, but to the conspiracy that took her parents from her. Seeking revenge will put her in mortal danger, but if Blue can reunite her family, it might be worth the risk. And then they go on about their um, reasons to write the story and how they connect to the story culturally. And also, they say, "Thank you for your time and consideration. Best regards, author." So there you go. There's the query that they're having conundrums about.
So it sounds cool, but halfway through, I lost the plot when it was the demon lady says, "Go get the hunter's heart or lose your soul." But Blue is the one who went to go to the demon lady to get something.
Yeah, I obviously reading is not my strong point here, and so sometimes I have to read it twice to really get to the things. So let's go through it slowly and we can see if we can find some things to help this author out. So, first paragraph, I'll quickly try to speed through it. I'm so excited to send you my query because you enjoy female rage, monstrous girls, and stories that burn the patriarchy to the ground. I also noticed that you were looking for a story inspired by El Dia de los Muertes, and my book has similar tones. Title is a middle grade contemporary fantasy, 67,000 words. It will appeal to fans of whimsical monsters and incredible creatures by Catherine Rudel, and The Rebellious Girls in When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. Okay, well, first, I need to quickly, I don't know if I'm 100% familiar with this one title. So let's go look it up real quick.
Huh? I missed that. You have to read it again. No,
Exactly.
I'm kidding.
Impossible Creatures by Catherine. Okay. Sometimes I need to see the cover. Okay, I see what this one is. This one is a middle grade book. Who is the publisher on this?
Balzer Gray.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm just
You're
guessing.
just making up
Yep.
things as we go along.
Just making up things.
Okay. This one came out in 2023. Okay, so not too far. Okay. All right, we're not too far off on that one. But the other one, When Women Were Dragons, that's an adult novel.
Is that the one where women turn into dragons?
It's like historical, and I have not finished reading it yet. I actually have started this story, and I was really enjoying it. But it's historical fiction about I haven't finished it, so I can't tell you the whole story. But it's definitely an adult novel.
How
It's not
far into it are you? That means nothing to me.
just a little bit.
That could be like 3 pages or like 400.
Oh, it's not that big.
Well, I don't know. I'm
I'm
not reading it.
probably 5. Here, let me see if I have it right here.
5 pages in.
No, chapters, like
Oh, okay.
6, 5, 6. I don't know.
Okay.
I got into this really bad habit of starting a book and then starting another book and then starting another book and starting another book. So I had like started 17 different books at one time.
You know what they call that?
Problematic.
Lycanthropy.
What is that?
It's just being a werewolf.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
werewolves do.
Guess I'm a werewolf. So I started at the same time I started like 17 other books. And it's not right here next to me. It's in it's with my other stack of books in the other room.
I was going to ask, what are the other books? Name them. Name them all right now.
So many. So many. So anyway, off topic. So the comps are a little confusing just because they are two very separate age group genres. So I'm not quite sure where this is standing. But of course, the entire first part of this pitch for me obviously works really well for me. So I think they nailed that. The personalization, they nailed. All the things they nailed. Now, if we go into the query or the meat of it, The heart has its own claws and teeth, just like any beast, and a hunger difficult to
I have to
satiate.
jump in and
Yes,
say,
yes.
I think they are a listener to our dinky little
They
podcast.
have to be. They have to
Because the
know.
secret agent Anne Rose, that's we've said that on the show that's like the greatest thing ever.
I I get a kick out of it every
Yeah,
time. It doesn't get old. It really
yeah.
doesn't. Okay, it's a good hook. I think it's not a terrible hook sentence, you know. It doesn't really tell us too much about the story itself, but I like it. I'm not sure if it screams middle grade.
Okay, yeah, because I really dig it. So I think that's probably it because I don't do a lot of middle grade that isn't
Yeah.
horror.
Yeah.
So what
Okay.
you said, I co-sign.
You co-signed it here. I don't know if you can. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing this right. Okay. So humans are terrified of the vicious monsters that came out of hell, but 13-year-old Blue Duciel only fears one thing: loneliness. Most people single her out because Blue is a half monster, but she was born to be hunted and live a lonely life. But Blue dreams of finding her villainous family, the fierce and most feared Duciel. So, okay, it's not a terrible like first sentence or first paragraph, I should say. It does give us a little bit of like what she's wanting, but it's not really, she wants to find them, but I don't know. Is that a strong enough motivation? I'm not sure. Like, I guess if I understood m- more like why she wants to find them, like why she can't find companionship or anything in anyone else.
I wonder about her background, her current life.
Yeah.
Like, is she in school? Is she homeless? Is she like Frankenstein's monster off in the woods, living in a house, stalking people and learning how to be human?
It's a good question because it's a contemporary fantasy. So yeah, what's the setup here? Like it says like people single her out because she's half monster. Okay, again, I'm into monstrous girls. Love it. Um, but I'm not quite feeling the immediacy or the agency in this setup that requires like this like thrust into a story, if that makes sense. Um, I'm not like turned off by it, but I'm not really feeling that. What is that word? Come on, work with me here, Lane. Help me
Oomph.
out. Yeah, sure. We'll just go with oomph. So
You asked.
I couldn't think of anything else either. Okay, so rumor has it that the Dew Seals were killed by one known only as the Hunter, but Blue believes there's more to the story. She decides to make a deal with the most dynamic woman in town, Death, sovereign of lost souls, who gives Blue a difficult task. So she makes a deal, but I'm not sure what the deal is. So maybe that's what made your confusion. Bring me the hunter's heart, or I'll take your human soul. Blue is scared, but the choice is clear. Okay, yeah, because she's making this decision to go to see this person, right? So again, we're missing kind of the setup here. Get the hunter's heart or lose her soul and become a monster forever. Okay, those are pretty good stakes, but she does walk into it. So a little confusing about the setup. Um, Blue and her friends will encounter a sinister sunken mansion, souls enslaved in a metal clockworks, and an underground circus, all while getting closer to not just the hunter, but to the conspiracy that took her parents from her. Okay, so her parents are. I'm not quite sure what we're trying to get to.
How can she be lonely? Her friends and her are out doing this adventure. Her
Yeah,
friends.
yeah,
Friends.
she's with her friends.
When you're middle grade, that's when your friends become more important than your family.
It's a good question. So I think there's some confusion here in the setup. I'm also not entirely sure this is middle grade. Like going to find and cut out a hunter, like this kind of feels m- older, like an older quest, like having a 13-year-old go murder someone.
Young adult.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I would okay, again, I know you're going to hate this. I would look at the pages. I have to look at the pages. I would have to look at the pages here and try to understand what they're doing. But I'm not entirely sure if this is middle grade, but I don't think this pitch is necessarily matching. I don't know. Maybe it is matching the story, but maybe the story is a middle grade. I don't know.
Does it say how old the kid is?
13-year-old. So they're 13, and again, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure I understand what the main character is trying to do, because it sounds like her family is dead. So I'm not sure what she's looking for. Answers to how they died? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how the hunter's heart comes into play. Um, because she's making a deal with the devil, more or less. So, and she wants to reunite with her family, but is her family dead? I don't know. I don't know. I have a lot of questions, and I think that this query doesn't answer the questions it needs to answer, and also maybe creates more questions than it needs to. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Thanks.
Um,
Thanks. So I would maybe start again on this one and really like kind of think about like what is it that you're trying to do here. And again, I'm not 100% convinced this is middle grade, not 100%, but I would have to see the voice and really what the story is. But I think there's a disconnect here between the pitch and maybe the story. So I don't know. Did you have any last thoughts, Lane?
Final thoughts, Anne?
My final thoughts is that I would totally look at the pages of this, because you definitely have nailed a lot of my interests in here. There's a lot of themes in here that I'm very interested in. The story itself does sound interesting and good. It just doesn't sound middle grade to me. So I would be really curious to see what it is. Maybe this is young adult and they're just misrepresenting it as middle grade, and the age of the protagonist is maybe a little too young. I don't know. I would look at the pages and definitely check it out, because it definitely does hit a lot of my key things that I really love in a story. So, but I would say to take this query back to the drawing board and really get down to the meat of it, like who is the main character, what it is that they want, what stands in their way, what happens if they fail, because we are getting a little bit too much information in here, and it's just not quite giving us a clear picture of the overall story.
So, Anne Rose, why don't you take us out?
I'm just gonna take us out. That's it. We're done. Obviously, we're done with another episode of Quelling Your Query Conundrum here at the Literary Lens with Lane Haymont, if you actually see him at all in this video, and me, Anne Rose. Hopefully, this has helped you out in some way, shape, or form. Querying author, send us an email. Let us know if this was helpful to you. And if you do update this query and want us to check it out again, go ahead and resend it, and we'll do this again for you to try to help you out. But it does sound like a good query. Anyone else listening, give us some comments. What are we doing wrong? Below, like, subscribe, and I don't know, go read a really fun horror novel per Lane's recommendation.